My guest now is a stock and futures trader, a finance expert, and an analyst who writes for Benzinga, the businesswoman media, investing.com, just to name a few. Miss Inna Rosputnia has been honoured with numerous awards and is here to provide us with some insight within the marketing sector. Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on TK News.
So first up, Inna, what attracts investors to your company? And perhaps could you tell us a little bit about your company and what you do?
Our main mission is to provide high quality managed accounts, and we also have research subscriptions. But as I said, the main focus we have on managed accounts. And I think that what we have the most attractive for the investors is our track record, but also we have a number of other advantages for investors, like high liquidity of their funds. In other words, there is no lockup periods and the investor can withdraw funds at any time or add more to his investment account. And also, all the funds are always on investor account, which means it's fully transparent and investor has full control over his funds and holdings, and also owns all the assets, including stocks, commodities, and he's the person who receives dividends. Moreover, we are trying to be very fair in our pricing. So unlike most of the other money managers, we don't charge any markup fees or management fees, and we work only on profit share basis. In other words, the investor pays only after he sees the real results and profits.
And that's what you like to see. So how do direct ownership and direct investments approach work with your managed accounts services, Inna?
It's one of our main focuses because, as I mentioned a little bit before, investor owns account and all the holdings, including stocks. In other words, he is the stockholder and he receives dividends. He also owns all the commodities. So he doesn't have any dependence on me or my assistant, as he is the full and complete owner of all the assets. We have some dependence on him because he is the person who pays our fees.
Of course, of course. So what are your thoughts about mutual funds?
I think that investors wrongly focus so much on mutual funds because, I am the person who likes stats and official data. And it's not that big secret that most of the mutual funds underperform the market. So in other words, they don't make much sense for investor. It's easier and more profitable simply to buy S&P 500, and you will get more profit than buying mutual funds. Moreover, retail investors sometimes don't understand the final destination of their investments within mutual funds, because mutual funds can invest in the fund of funds, and that fund of funds invest in some stocks, and then suddenly you realize, for example, like it happened recently, that your investment had a relationship to Russia and Russia announced sanctions and you got the problem with your investments. So each investor has to dive deep when it comes to mutual funds.
Absolutely. So what is your approach to stock and futures selection, I suppose, is my next question for you.
Oh, I have absolutely different approach to stock selections and to the future selections because it's absolutely different markets. For the main difference between them is commodities are more supply and demand driven, and it's real supply and demand because there is a real buyer and a real seller, and someone really needs the sugar for further production, for example. But with the stocks, we have, I may say, some unreal supply and demand because all the supply and demand in the stock market is driven by fear and greed. And it's absolutely different from commodities because you can't measure it. But still, when it comes to stock selections, I have special focus on 12-month PE ratio. It's just an amazing tool to use, and we are happy to have Federal Reserve who pointed that it's one of the main characteristics now for picking up the stocks for your portfolio. And also I do very deep research of financial health of each company. And when it comes to commodities, I have a bit different approach because I have more focus on commitment of trader data, where I'm trying to understand what commercials, in other words, real producers and buyers are doing in the market. Because they know this commodity like no one else in the world. It's their business. So that's why you have to understand what they are doing and be on their side. And also premiums are very important in commodities. There is a strong seasonal tendencies in commodities, and also some of the commodities follow cycles very well. And also, as you likely have heard already, I developed my valuation model into commodity trading, and I use it always when it comes to commodities.
Ina, what a great rundown from you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program to unpack this for us. If people are interested in reading more about you or perhaps reading some of your work, where should they be looking?
They can visit my website, managedaccountsir.com.
Fantastic. Ina, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
There's a lot to consider from today's discussions there, and that's it from me for now. I want to thank you for your time, and of course remember to head to tickernews.co for breaking stories from around the world. We also have a new television app, which I highly recommend you have a look at, tickeroriginals.co, for more insights and discussions like the one I've just had with Ina here, and topics ranging from cybersecurity, fashion, technology, education, and so much more. I've been your host, Mike Loder. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Be well.